It hasn't even been out a full 2 weeks yet, and Concord is already being delisted from all storefronts, and anybody who purchased the game is being offered full refunds. The game is dead. I highly doubt that this game ever makes a return, because why would you when you only sold something like 25,000 copies? This is a colossal flop and a blemish on Sony's record. Let's talk about what happened and what Sony has said about the situation right now. I think all of us saw the writing on the wall with Concord, knowing that player numbers were absolutely abysmal, but most were saying, hey, they'll probably give it a year and then shut it down. I don't expect this game to go anywhere. Never in my career have I seen a studio pull their game off of storefronts and offer full refunds this close to launch. Here's what Sony said about it on the blog post. An important update on Concord. Concord fans, we've been listening closely to your feedback since the launch of Concord on PlayStation 5 and PC, and want to thank everyone who has joined the journey aboard the North Star. Your support and the passionate community that has grown around the game has meant the world to us. See, it's a little strange to hear that because they didn't sell that many copies. So setting it up in that way, it's very strange to preface it as though Concord has been any sort of success. It's very clearly been a disaster for them. Regardless, however, while many qualities of the experience resonated with players, we also recognize that other aspects of the game in our initial launch didn't land the way we had intended. I don't know what they think resonated with players, because if it did, you would have more players. I think even this blog post is a continued fundamental misunderstanding that people didn't like this game from the get. The first time they saw gameplay, they said, this looks like a Guardians of the Galaxy knockoff. The trailer did not receive any positivity whatsoever. It was widely panned. And to hear them say that, like, this resonated with players. What players? Like, I don't know where they're hearing the positivity towards this. Now, I know this is marketing, but like, we got to take an honest, hard look at what went wrong with Concord, or they do at least, and they say they're doing that. So hopefully they actually do once, because people, as soon as they got their hands on it, widely criticized the title. Anyway, they say that therefore, at this time, we have decided to take the game offline beginning September 6, 2024, and explore options, including those that will better reach our players. There are no players to reach. Even if this game goes free to play, it's not going to go anywhere. Rod Breslau posted the following list of changes that'll have absolutely no impact on Concord's success. Going free to play, increase marketing, improve gunplay, change character design, new art style, pay streamers, remove DEI, list of changes that would, canceling the game 5 years ago. Concord never should have seen the light of day. That studio never should have been purchased. I don't understand why these studios continually lash out at the audience that is trying to tell them, we don't want this. Everybody who has looked at the game said, I don't like these character models. They look bad. And I'm using the nicest phrase possible, as I'm sure you've seen online. They have widely been memed and panned. The initial reaction to the trailer was, this looks dumb. This doesn't look cool. This looks like Guardians of the Galaxy, but bad. And when we got the full game, the characters were ugly and derivative, many of them of Guardians of the Galaxy. The gameplay looks slow and unbalanced to those watching, and if you're playing, yeah, it does feel slow. The story is terrible. Who was this for, and how did you get it this wrong? Those are the main questions that I have. Are you just in an echo chamber and you don't want to hear any criticism whatsoever for the product? Because it never would have went to market if you would have had focus testing. That's truly my belief. I don't understand how you put this in front of anybody. You put this in front of Destin, and I'm gonna be like, what is your story doing? I have no idea who these characters are. I have no idea why I should connect to them. You have these story vignettes that you're highlighting as a big selling point. I don't know who they are or why I should care that they found the star map. Like, you did a terrible job of setting any aspect of this up to make these characters likable and identifiable for anybody playing the game. And then you add on top of that, the character models just don't look interesting. There's a trend going on right now on Twitter where people are asking AI to remake the character designs in Concord, and the AI designs are vastly better. And honestly, this whole situation I feel for the people at Firewalk. I truly do. Like, that is terrible for them. And I think this is going to be a wake-up call for everybody else in the industry, where they have to take an honest look at their products and say, who is this being made for? What market are we targeting with this? How much of that market exists? Because Sony bet big on this. They have an animated short coming out not that long from now with the new series. I believe it's on Amazon or Netflix or whatever, Secret Level it's called. And one of the games featured are Concord. They have a series of these very lovely animated shorts that they put together for Concord also. They have a limited edition controller. And it's just like, what market data said that this was cool and going to sell? It just makes absolutely no sense to me. Gamers have been making it quite clear that they don't want this. They say it's derivative and bland, and it's not cool. Like, say it however you want. And I honestly think, we see online a lot that people are like, oh, this is DEI or this is woke. And I think those terms are largely being used to express that I don't like this and I don't want this. So whatever that means, and those terms have meant something different to everybody else, because I have asked them, I'm like, well, what do you mean by that? And everybody has a different answer. But some things off the top of my head are, like I said, the character models being not interesting, derivative, and bland. At the top of my list would be that. And then the second thing is that the gameplay is not that interesting. There's literally animations taken from Destiny, and there are many people that worked on Destiny on the game, but it doesn't feel as good to play it. Anyway, let's continue on in the post. I ended up going a little ranty there. While we would determine the best path ahead, Concord sales will cease immediately, and we will begin to offer a full refund for all gamers who have purchased the game for PS5 and PC. If you purchase the game for PlayStation 5 from the PlayStation Store or PlayStation Direct, a refund will be issued back to your original payment method. Customers who purchased from other digital storefronts will also be refunded. More information about refunds from Steam and Epic can be found below, and then it's how you refund at each. Once refunded, players will no longer have access to the game. They're not going to have access after tomorrow anyway. We'll keep you updated, and thank you again to all the free gunners who have joined us in the Concord Galaxy. So, do I think that people didn't buy the game because of DEI or woke stuff? No, I don't think when you go into Walmart or wherever you go, you look at that game and you think about those particular topics. And you have to remember the people on Twitter, they do account for a very, very small percentage of the audience. Having a $40 price tag didn't help. Having box art full of characters that are uninteresting to look at, and like, you don't identify with any of those characters. The game is just there's so many problems with the game that I am shocked that it ever got past a focus test and released to the public. When I initially played it, for the first, 4 hours or so, I'm like, okay, yeah, this feels all right. But then you get past that and you start playing against teams who know what they're doing. And not just me, like, I'm a solo queue type player, and it very quickly shows the cracks in the game. And it's not fun to play anymore, and you bounce. And you saw that with the player numbers. If you look at SteamDB, it had a low of 23 players yesterday. But anyway, it had a low of 23 players. And there's estimates out there that it sold $1 million worth of copies. You're talking about, and I'm guessing here, a $200 million investment and you sold $1 million. It is a colossal disaster. This is a blemish on Sony's record, make no mistake. And so there will be layoffs because of this. And I take no happiness in that. It's very, very unfortunate. But you have to stop insulting gamers. Like if somebody says, hey, I don't like this, you have to figure out how to listen to that feedback and not just stick your head in the sand and not listen to them. And thankfully, I actually think this is a good thing. Gamers are finally speaking with their wallets. One of the first videos on this channel, I said, vote with your wallet. If you don't want microtransactions, if you don't want whatever, don't buy it. Well, with Concord, people spoke loud and clear. This clearly doesn't speak to the market in any capacity. And I have to wonder who Fair Games is supposed to speak to, because the reaction to that initial trailer was largely the same. Who is this for? Old Man Logan is one of the people that the game was for. He said, I have 48 hours in this game. The people that are playing it love it. I've met and played with so many cool people simply because of this game. We have a free gunner chat on PlayStation. F all the people who gave this game such unwarranted hate for no good reason. Do we actually think that the people on Twitter, and Old Man Logan follows me, he's awesome. Like, no shade at Old Man Logan. But do we actually think that the people on Twitter are the reason that this game didn't sell? You have to remember, like, everything we hear on Twitter, it's very loud because we're in these gaming circles. What percentage of the gaming market does that actually account for? There is something at a fundamental level that people do not like about this product, and they didn't buy it. They voted with their wallet. And honestly, like on the one hand, I am glad to see that. You have to stop insulting your fan base and basically lashing out at them when they have realistic criticisms about your product. MVG said, unprecedented, Concord is getting pulled a little over 10 days after it launched. I bought a physical copy while I was in Australia. Guess it's a coaster now. Damn. Jason Schreier also had some takes on it. Wild news, PlayStation's new game Concord has performed so poorly that the company is pulling it from stores and refunding anyone who bought it. Every time a live service game with no hook, no strong word of mouth fails to penetrate an oversaturated market, the most annoying people on the planet will be there to blame diversity. I do agree with Jason in that I don't think the fact that the cast is diverse is the problem. Overwatch clearly has a diverse cast. Apex Legends has a diverse cast. Those are like two of the biggest games on the planet. The new game from Valve, Deadlock, which is invite only, is like on the top 10 of Steam charts right now. And those games are diverse. They have a diverse cast. So I disagree that diversity is the problem with the game, because there are many other games that have done it exceptionally well and they don't have a negative impact. I do want to close up. Now, this post has been deleted, and I really love the Pal World devs and the community manager especially, who's been very open about his take about the industry. He did highlight how this is going to create a problem going forward for the type of games that we can expect. I don't really agree with the statement, but here's the deleted post. One thing the Concord situation highlights is that public understanding of the games industry is at an all-time low. You mourn studios closing one week, then rejoice and dance on the grave of a game shutting down the next week. You see ghosts of political boogeyman in one game and rally the troops for Game of the Year in others. There is so much hate, bile, and vitriol floating around our hobby, and it genuinely breaks my heart to see. Everyone is so consumed with being a contrarian because it's the meta right now that you don't even realize or care how harmful it is to the gaming landscape. A new generation of gamers conditioned to go on the offensive when disgruntled or launch full-blown assaults if they don't like a game. The sheer amount of work that goes into making a game is Herculean, and it's devastating when it doesn't land. Years of time, effort, and money lost in what feels like an instance. We've all lost today. Don't delude yourself into thinking this is a win in any way, shape, or form. Whether you liked, hated, played, or have never even heard of Concord before, it only gets harder for us all from here. Now, the problem that he's highlighting is that Concord's failure means that those good ideas that we could have had an opportunity to play, they're just not going to get the time of day. We're going to see fewer new ideas from AAA studios because for so long, we have said that we want new ideas, but not cool new ideas. And right now, companies are incredibly risk averse. There's less money going around right now, and they are going to take fewer chances. I do push back, however. I think this does send a clear message to the people who greenlight games that, well, that is not what we want. And that's the only thing you can do as a consumer, not buy things. So the vitriol online, it kind of goes both ways, because I do think the entire gaming community is being rid off as terrible things. And there are people out there that honestly fit that description. There's terrible people online. I think we all know that. We've all seen a little bit of it. But at the same time, there's people who are literally just trying to say things that they don't like about the game. So it is a spectrum of reactions across the board. And I think it's pretty obvious to see that most people did not like Concord. So I would say that, yes, there is a lot of vitriol online from gamers. And now there's also this sticking your head in the sand and pretending like there's nothing wrong with the game and everybody else is just bad. Like, calling out that the K-Vest character model in game looks terrible is a truth. And saying it's anything else, what are you doing? Fix the character model. But we have to get better at talking to each other. Because if you can't hear that the public is saying that they don't want this thing, and you're betting $200 million on it, you're going to destroy people's lives at the end of the day. Because those developers who spent 8 years on Concord, they're going to be negatively impacted by this. Why? Because of a refusal to listen to what the market is trying to tell you. And that's unfortunate. And I don't understand this pushback and labeling of everybody. It's something that I really don't like that's happening in the industry right now. Anyway, that's my 2 cents on the whole topic. Hit that subscribe button, hit that bell to know when my content goes live. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I do appreciate you. If you want to become a member, here's the membership right here. You can click that join button if you want to support. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Join button is right down there. Ding. If you want to check out my other videos, you can check them out right here. Thanks for watching. I'll see you for the next one. Bye for now, everybody.